Hey guys.
Ooh.
Welcome back. We're back after a little break here. We left off. You guys were running around in a jail cell.
Oh, my phone. Sorry.
Charlotte found a squirrel.
Squirrely kind of squirrel.
All that exciting stuff. Let's jump right back in with Tavik. Not with Tavik. Tavik is having technical difficulties. Let's jump right back into the holding cell. What's happening in the holding cell, guys? You guys still talking?
Do we want to finish up our conversation quick?
Finish your conversation.
Go for it.
Okay. I left off talking about... Okay.
The whip.
Yeah.
Oh. This is a warning.
Oh, yeah. Shin's backstory involves child abuse. So if you are not comfortable with that, on YouTube we can put in a time code. But for now, I guess if you're not comfortable...
I'll tag it with
a
trigger warning, so don't worry.
Yeah. If
I mean, I don't think I can tag it for Twitch. I don't know how to do
you
that,
can't tag it for Twitch.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say, trigger warning for this next bit. I'm going to be going through some of Shin's backstory, which involves child abuse. Okay. So when drow males are raised, at least in Lothian cities, like the one I grew up in, males are considered second-class citizens. And this leads to frequent abuse with the whip I mentioned before. And he kind of rolls up his sleeves to show some of the scars on his arm. I have scars like this covering my entire back, my arms, and parts of my chest. These wounds were done for anything that my sisters believed that I should be punished for. Whether that be simply dropping something, making the wrong move, or saying something out of turn. This resulted in some difficulties growing up. Until the time that I became old enough to leave for training. Which, in my case, was at the age of 30. When I left to be trained by the weapon masters, and the weapon master in this case was the older brother who tried to kill me. And believe me when I say that his techniques in training were definitely not traditional. And they left me with some scars that would not be appropriate to show in a prison cell.
You know, no family should ever treat a child like that. That's one thing I'll stand by.
No. They shouldn't.
Well, I'd never do that.
But the reason I ended up leaving home, I can't go into specifics. I obviously do not trust you. Obviously.
Quite obviously. I just poured my entire backstory to you, but I don't trust you.
Oh, I don't trust him enough for this. Because let's just say I did something I found horrendous. And I did not expect my mother to follow through on it. And it resulted in a guilt so strong I had to leave. And I would like to, at some point, lay that part of my life to rest.
Well,
though I will say, I had never been to the surface before I left. Though, fighting your way to the surface is quite the ordeal.
Bless you.
Bless you.
well, I see we both have some hardships. Why don't we just set our differences aside for now?
That sounds like quite the plan.
One thing I'll ask of you. Please don't break out of this prison cell.
Oh, fuck.
I heard you swear. Don't do that.
I can't. I hate to say, but I can't promise anything.
expect you for that.
Did we hear that?
Yeah.
We're just kind of looking at you like...
You probably wouldn't be paying too much attention because you were blinking during the time, but you would have heard it, yeah.
Okay.
I definitely would have heard it.
So I'm gonna turn to them and go, so, what have you been up to?
I hold up the Scroll Kings with a grin.
I pointed at her and I'm like... finger guns.
You know, if you had asked, I stowed some items away that might help us get out of here.
Well, I didn't know that.
Wow, Shin. You know, those would be pretty fucking useful right now.
They may be. What was your guys' plan?
I have a plan. We sit here, we wait until we're trial because then we're going to have a bounty over our heads because we broke out of prison.
What am I wearing right now exactly?
Nothing.
Um,
You're a fucking barbarian.
You don't have armor, but you've got your, like, dress, kind of.
Okay.
Your hide dress.
Have you been wearing a dress the whole time?
Yeah.
Is that the dress that's in the... Oh.
Yep. I've been wearing a dress.
Okay.
Oh, is there a way because Alec has a theory,
What?
and I
You don't think she could be a fucking lady?
I don't
No,
know
I just-
how I could get like a private.
I just
with
never
that.
actually...
She was
like,
wearing probably like a dress kind of like this actually, but
'Kay.
red.
I thought
It's got
that
the
was
one
just
strap
like,
over the shoulder.
Oh,
for jokes.
someone
Okay.
fix the screen share. It's messed up.
Well, I already fixed it like a couple minutes ago. Bless you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll leave you guys for a couple seconds and go back to Tabik.
Now that we have Tabik.
So Tabik, you've been waiting outside for about 3 minutes,
Yeah.
4 minutes maybe.
Oh, does he have this right?
The small kind of twitchy kid comes like stumbling back out the main house. He's followed by 3 of these older guards, and they kind of make their way over to the gate. And they don't step onto your side. The twitchy kid kind of stands at the back, and the one of the older elven men steps forward, and he's like, "So, what do you want?"
Oh, actually, I have one on Twitch. 1 sec.
I believe I may know some of those people you just took into custody. I would like to know what happened.
And why should we tell you that?
Because I know a few of them and we're supposed to be going somewhere. I apologize for their behavior. They're ridiculous.
Fine. They are currently awaiting trial. They were causing trouble in the streets, threatened some people. Citizens were worried. Rabble. You know the deal. We can't have that here. So, until we can find proper transport to get them to the high city so they can face court, they'll be staying in the cells.
Oh. That? Okay! I didn't have a reason to try to break up before.
You don't know shit.
I know, but I'm like...
Well,
Did you say you know them?
Oh no.
that smile on Marisa's. I love
The screen share is still missing, so I can't figure it.
Whoa, Jesus Christ, what was that robot?
I have briefly traveled with them. I do not know them very well. We traveled here together from Ryanuk.
Lady Gilrora will want you to be taken in for questioning. And he kind of like pats one of the other elves and kind of like motions, and you see him disappear through one of the gates, and he steps out onto the street with you, and he's like, "Come peacefully, we don't have to make this a big deal."
Can I keep my stuff? I'll give you my weapons, but I would like to keep my sketchbook and armor.
Of course, not a problem. You're here for questioning. You're not under arrest.
Okay, I'll go along with you.
Okay, yeah, he takes you by one arm and he kind of leads you in. And you see the older elf who had addressed you originally. He's kind of off to the side, with the second guard talking to this kind of twitchy kid who's like rubbing the back of his neck and like he looks a little bit embarrassed. But the guard leads you into the larger house, down a couple of corridors and into a small room with a table in the center and 2 chairs on either side. It looks like an interrogation room. And he motions, kind of like pushes you into the room and he says, "The lady'll be along shortly. Till then, take a seat. This won't take more than an hour or 2.
Alright, thanks for letting me know.
Yep. And he closes his door. And you are now
As soon as
sitting...
he leaves, Tabitha's like, "God, what the fuck?"
He's not in the room.
No, you're in like a small interrogation room. So you don't know where they are still. Let's jump back to you guys then.
Did we hear anything?
No, not particularly.
Just,
It would have happened around the same time that you had been blanked and they had been talking and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So
Look, I've been in a holding cell before. You wait here until they come back. Then you play nice. Don't flirt with them, Kizza. You play nice, you tell the truth. They'll have witnesses or someone. They'll be like, "Yeah, man, he was causing a ruckus." And then you just say, "Sorry, I'm not from around here. Never been in a elvish city. Your customs are different than mine. I apologize." And then you get set free. Just stay here. The most I've waited is for like a day and a half. It's the most I've waited. It's not very long.
I mean, I can wait, but at the same time, don't you have a meeting?
Yes, look.
What is her name again?
Charlotte?
No. The lady.
Oh, Maeve.
Maeve
Mistress Maeve.
is a wonderful person. I know she'll be understanding. I was supposed to meet her for like a nice little coffee we had once, and it took me 2 weeks over time to get to her. I found a really nice family along the way. I had a great time. Anyway, she's fine. She's understanding. I get this all the time. This one sounded a little bit urgent, but a day or 2.
It's urgent. Shouldn't you be there, like, immediately?
Do you have transportation? I used to have to walk. That hurts your feet.
I mean...
Jasper
Fucking
laughed.
Jasper. Okay. Kizza pulls Shin to the side and is like,
Oh, fuck. I muted it. Okay. Never mind.
"Just start doing your thing." And she kind of like stands like,
Kizza, I swear to God, we just talked about this. You're in my face right now. I'm literally in your penis. We're talking. I can hear what you're saying.
Are you gonna try and persuade her not to break
"Are
out?
you gonna
Baz,
try
what's your
to persuade
passive
me?"
perception?
10.
Fuck all. You're talking to Charlotte.
What the fuck? Listen.
Fuck that shit. No, she's whispering to Shin.
Yeah, I'm whispering,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, you ain't picking that shit up. You're in a conversation. You can't even focus on your own conversation, let alone other people's conversations.
Okay. I'm going to examine the lock.
Okay.
What would that be? Investigation?
Yeah.
15.
15. Okay. It'll take you a bit, like a minute or 2, but it's not like
It's not a...
it's not like ridiculous. It's just a holding cell lock.
Okay.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think you guys should break out, but...
What are you talking about?
I don't see you doing that.
Yeah. Wait, what's your passive perception?
Oh, never mind. 15.
Whoa,
Okay,
holy
you
shit.
notice.
What? Shin?
Well, he's not like picking
I'm not
the lock.
picking
He's
the
just
lock.
kind of like crouched down looking at it.
And keep in mind, I'm standing in front of him. Like, I'm standing like,
Oh yeah, no, like you
Guarding
can
him
like
kind of
you
thing.
can see he's crouched down behind Kizza in front of the
Taking
door.
a shit.
For all you fucking know.
You guys.
what? Let a man pee.
Are you wanting to stay in this cell?
Yes.
No, not particularly. But oh god.
Baz is ashamed of everyone.
No. The thing is, I think we need to get out of here because I'm not sure how their law is set up, and it might not be the best. But I don't think we need to get out of here by breaking out. We can do this legally? Legally, maybe. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
Shin, what's your passive perception?
Passive perception? 16.
Okay. You can hear footfalls in the corridor.
Okay, I get up and go over to the bench.
Can I?
Yeah. You catch them.
What about me? I'm
13.
guessing no?
No.
13.
Shin,
Like,
can
you can hear something from
Can I
outside, but you're
whisper?
not quite sure.
sit down.
Okay, I go and I just like slump against the.
I'd like to go up to the bars.
Okay, yeah.
What are you doing?
Sit down.
Why am I sitting down?
You see the two guards who had left return to the room now. The larger knight in the white plate mail is behind them. He's still got his helmet on, so you can't see his face. But the two guards kind of go either side of the door and stand like at attention, and he walks in and stuff, and he kind of stands just outside of reach of the bars and stuff. He says, "We are currently questioning the witnesses of the occasion. Transportation has been arranged to the great city of Weldra."
Is that where we're trying to go?
Are we trying?
I forgot where we're going.
Where are we going?
You
Not
guys
Weldra.
are going to Carshire.
But isn't that on?
Weldra is the capital city of Mir.
I feel like Weldra is like going the opposite direction,
Isn't
but
that
I
the
could be wrong
opposite
there.
way?
Yeah, it's a little fast.
Weldra is down here. Cavillia is up here. You guys are trying to go this way.
Okay, so we're not doing this today. No, ma'am.
The man says, "Transportation has been arranged to Weldra within 2 days' time. You will face the High Court's justice, presided over by the High Lady of Gilrora.
Hey, would I know what that is?
How much do you think Baz would know about the court system and the
He's
nobles?
been arrested quite a bit, and he's
Sure.
also a noble.
Roll.
Baz is a noble?
Roll me a history.
Yeah.
Shin, you can do it too.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Baz is a
No.
noble.
What am I doing again? Sorry.
A history check.
Thanks.
Can I? Or probably wouldn't.
13.
Disadvantage for you.
Yeah, okay.
And because you can do it at disadvantage if you'd like. 15?
Got a 1.
16.
Okay.
The other one was a nat 20, sad.
It's pretty difficult to not know. Gilrora is one of the 8 noble houses of the Elven kingdoms. Specifically, it's the House of the Star Lily, otherwise known as the Nobles of Justice. So they preside over the court systems, over guards, judges, all that sort of stuff. Justice, jailing.
Threw out my fucking thing that said fucking asshole.
You what?
I threw out my thing that says what family runs the law in Yakin.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry, I thought you were just like, I threw up, but I'm like, one sec.
So you're not quite sure, you can't quite remember specifically what elves are part of the family, but you do know that there's a High Lady, who is the head of the family, and her husband. You can't really remember if they have kids or not, but kids or other family members you're not quite sure on, but you can remember there was a High Lady.
Okay.
Weren't we told to like avoid the Elven cities because they have problems right now?
We were told to avoid one elven city.
Weldra.
Oh, well, haha.
I look at Sean. I'm like, actually, I changed my mind suddenly.
Now you want to break out?
So wait, are all three of you just like sitting on the bench at the back?
Yeah.
And I'm just...
You're standing next to the bars. The man continues to say, until such a time that you are removed from our custody and sent along your way, you will remain in this cell. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to ask the guards, and they will fetch me.
I have a question. 2 of us have questions.
Go for
3
it.
of us have questions.
Okay, you guys can go first, I guess.
Technically, I got like 2. This is what I usually do. The routine. 3 actually. Sorry, my routine. Question number 1. You know the Benquins? Benham Benquins.
I'm sure I've heard of them at some point.
Okay, do you know Miracle?
Miracle isn't the god of
Yeah.
death?
Yeah.
I'm familiar with him.
Okay.
Charlotte's questioningly like, what? Why are you bringing this up?
Do you have any bonds with Yakin? Or like a lady named Faranessa and anything like that?
Sir, I serve
I know, I'm just asking this routine
the
questions.
House of Glenora,
Yeah.
Gilrora.
Which makes me can't remember your house name.
I mispronounced it. Sorry. The House of Gilrora. And the first daughter of said house.
Mm-hmm.
I do not concern myself with the treatises of petty dwarfs.
I have you know, and I'm gonna like stand up and like,
Oh no. Shin.
I am one of the major houses in the Grey Moor.
Can I hold my hand up just like
I've
stop
talked to
as?
your highest people, and you will not tell me that I'm a petty dwarf.
I will tell you what I so choose to tell you while you are currently sat in my jail cell, dwarf.
Does somebody want to smack that?
Whatever your last name or your noble title may be, I am sure it will come into light when you face the justice of the Lady of the Stars.
You watch your mouth.
I rolled a fucking nat
No,
20
dwarf.
to calm your shit down.
You're calming my shit down.
You watch your mouth. And he turns and he stalks out.
You just fucking angered the guard.
Yeah. Okay. So the other 2 guys are still standing there?
That person really didn't ask
Okay,
him what
wait,
time
hold
he
on.
came back.
I have no clue what he just said.
Sorry?
I don't know.
What did Jasper just say?
You guys knew that there was a fire person. You said there was a fire person. You didn't ask when you came back. What's happened?
I was gonna ask and then I stormed off.
Jumping over to Tabik.
Oh.
It's been about 10 minutes. When the door finally opens, and a small girl walks
You
in.
said dwarf finally open.
The door finally opens, and a small elvish girl walks in. And she closes the door behind her, and she sits down on the seat on the opposite side of the table from you, and she says, "My name is Leolin. Now, as I understand, you know the persons of interest currently in holding. Please, pray tell, who are they, and what do you know of them?"
One's a dickhead.
Oh no, I don't know how much I want to say to her. Oh no.
Tell the truth.
Luckily, you don't know my name. Well, my full name.
Yeah.
Are you still in
I
Mr.
have
Topic?
traveled with them for about a month
No,
now.
you all know me as Shin.
No, I'm talking about.
They are generally good people, but they have their differences with each other. I know they would not try to harm others, but they do not get along very well, especially when I am not around.
This is all Tabik's fault.
You say they would not harm each other. They would not harm others, and yet that is exactly the reason we are here. Is it not?
What have they done?
They've fought with each other in the streets, caused havoc and mayhem. They've put our citizens in danger. What have they not done?
Who is this dumb, stupid bitch?
They often fight amongst themselves, but if they were not harming another citizen, I am sorry if they have scared the citizens, but we were planning to leave this town as soon as possible. We have a quest we are on, and we are just traveling through.
You've known them for a month.
Roughly.
Then it is a fair assumption to make that you would have learned their names by now.
Oh god, is she Faye?
Who are they?
Lie through your teeth.
Shut up, Kizza, you're not there. Fucking try me, Tabak.
Just do it. Be truthful. We have Adron if we're need.
Wait, never mind.
There was such a good
I considered that, but I don't know if that would have any effect on anything. To mention House Lavellinor.
What boyfriends from the Prince of Elf?
I'm sorry, I'll have you know.
No. Because we could have said that we aren't on missions associated with the House of Lavellinor.
I mean, we were. Now we're not. Well, we never actually.
I mean, we still kind of are because we're in like a guild thing, kind of.
Oh.
But Tabby's fine.
Are you answering her?
I do not know some of their full names, but I do know their first names.
And?
The dwarf is Baz Ben Quinn. He doesn't try to hide who he is. He's very open about his status. The human child is known as Charlotte. I do not know her last name or if she even has one. The Dragonborn is Kizza. The elf among us is...
I don't think they know my full name.
Tabak just
No.
looking through
I don't.
folders. Shit.
Because I think even Adron introduced me as Shin, right? Not Shin Trick. He introduced me as Shin.
You're just Shin. The elf among us is Boston Leon. We just met him
I forgot about
today.
Oh,
It's only been a day.
yeah.
Oh, the other one.
He's not part of our group. He was asked to show us along on our road. And the dark elf is Shin. The rest of his name.
I see. You have been of much help, sir. What is your name?
Tadek Summerhallow.
It is a pleasure, Mr. Summerhallow. As I have already mentioned, my name is Leolin, first daughter of the House of Gilrora. We will be talking much more when you are in Weldra, along with your companions. And with that, the door to the interrogation room opens, and the tall, white-helmed knight is standing in the doorway, sword drawn, and we'll flash back to your guys' cell.
Are there any guards in the room?
Well, the two guards are still there.
Okay.
They're standing at
Who's-
attention at the door now.
Who would be beside me? Would it be Shin?
I swear to God, we gotta fucking break it, my man. Oh fuck, I lied. I like it for like so these guys aren't fucking around. Fuck. They don't
Guards.
fuck around, Shin.
Someone just like
Guards.
I'm whispering to him. I want you to know that. I'm not like
They don't seem to acknowledge you, Kizzo. Or like,
Yoo-hoo.
if they're listening, they're not like saying anything. They seem to be standing
I
like
need
Buckingham
to-
Palace guards.
Seriously, that's what she's
basically.
gonna do.
pretend to vomit on
Well-
yourself.
Hold on. First, can I just be like, excuse me? Can I have a glass of water? Please? Mr. Benham taught me that word.
One of the guards kind of like glances over at the other one shakes his head slightly, and then the second guard goes back to standing still.
I'm kind of hungry. Do you have any apples? She's just like, kind of waving her hand outside the jail.
The first elf on the left hand side one, the one who would shake his head, kind of raises his voice and says, "You'll be fed when dinner time comes around.
When's that?
Later."
Guards.
Do you want me to help you cheat at cards again?
I don't respond to you.
Okay.
Guards.
What, prisoner?
I have to piss.
There's a bucket in the corner.
Who do you take me for?
Right now, a criminal.
She's got a
You have
dress
to piss.
on. You don't want to mess up her dress.
It's really
They're
messed up.
not responding.
All right. Fair enough. Want me to piss in the bucket?
I don't.
Shin, you begin to hear footsteps.
Please don't piss in the bucket. We're gonna chat with us.
I advise to stay seated for the time being.
Charlotte's like leaning her head against the
The
bar
bars?
doors. Possibly like just like hitting her head against it like very slowly. Like, I'm bored.
How short is Kiz's dress right now?
Well, like,
You're gonna go
I don't
naked?
No,
No.
she's gonna like
dependent on you.
Okay.
She's like,
You don't. I'm not gonna make you roll to pee in a bucket.
No, that's not what I'm doing.
Okay.
She's going to grab the end of her dress, and she's going to just rip the fabric
Okay.
off the end of her dress.
Why the fuck would you do that? It's a nice dress.
Charlotte, you
should
pick
I
up
say
Faye's
quiet?
footsteps now. And there seems to be like a. Now that they're getting closer, you can hear what sounds like dragging almost. Like they're dragging a large sack or something.
Having a large
Reese,
sack.
what did you do?
I wrap my hand with the cloth, and I just kind of.
So
Close
Shin,
my
how are
fist.
you?
Do I have any hair ties with me?
You'd probably have one around your wrist, or one in your hair if you tied it up.
No, he wouldn't if they didn't start fighting.
You can now hear the dragging sound, Charlotte, and Kizzy, you can hear the footsteps.
Yeah, I look
As you're
over.
still oblivious.
Can I see anything?
You can't see anything yet. Shin, just because of like your vision is better and stuff,
Mhm.
you can see what looks like the small girl, followed by the knight.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a cheeky big havoc. He was cooperating.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait.
Okay.
We're off to Dave and Joey's. There's a salad upstairs for barbecue tonight, so.
Okay.
Okay, see you later.
Just parentals.
And a child.
You guys can all hear it now. And the small girl steps out into the room. The two soldiers who had begun to kind of relax a little bit, they're still like standing at attention. They snap back, perfect form and stuff. And the girl walks in, and the knight walks in, and he is dragging an unconscious Tabak behind him.
Fuck you, Reese.
Is he like bloodied?
he's got like a bruise on his forehead and like a cut in his lip, but like not like beaten or anything. Just knocked out.
Cooperating, you dick.
And the girl waves a hand and the door flies open. And the man tosses Tabak into the cell with you, closes it and locks it, and he steps back. And the girl stands in front of the cell and she says, "Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Leolyn Gilrora, first daughter of the House of the Star Lily. My mother will be proceeding over your court. It is at this time that I will take anything that you have to say in your favor, or against those currently held opposite to you."
Sing it.
Oh no, I don't know if it'll make any effect.
Just say it.
No, I've got it. I got this, guys.
No, it's Shirley.
No, Charlotte, do not.
Behind you, you see the elf that has been traveling with you guys. He's being quiet since you guys have gotten in here. He
Bostonian?
steps forward. Bostonian. He steps forward, and he pulls like away slightly at like the collarbone to show off what looks like a small sigil. And he says, "I am a paladin of the goddess Maliki. She has sent me on a quest. I ask that you release me so that I may continue on my way."
What a dickhead.
Oh,
Oh
fuck
my
you,
gosh.
Kurt Cobain!
Yeah, fuck off.
Of who? Sorry?
Maliki,
Malik. Thank you.
the goddess of forest.
I forgot about it.
And if you give me 2 seconds to find it, I will tell you what the sigil is.
Because
Kurt
if you see
fucking
it, they might be
Cobain.
like, oh fuck. Or they might just have no response. But if
They might have no response.
If they have a response.
They might also have a bad response.
Okay. And also, can I, like... Well, I mean, it's probably in the Elven...
It's a
Pantheon.
unicorn head.
It's in the Elven Pantheon.
It's a unicorn head.
Is
It's a
what?
unicorn head.
It's the head of a unicorn that's stenciled. That's like branded in.
Okay, and can I just... Is it, like, Maliki is
Maliki?
Lavalinor?
No.
No, not Lavalinor.
Valinor is Adron's last name.
Sorry, Spa Lady. Spa Lady is Maliki.
As far as you guys can tell, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
The girl kind of looks at her, at him, and she goes, "Guards." And one of the guards steps away and he opens the door and he kind of grabs the kid, the elf, closing and locking the door behind you, drags him off. Just bring him to the interrogation room. And the guard walks off with this kid.
Oh, boy.
Okay. I don't have anything to show for it though.
We have the...
That is Adron's symbol, and that might get us in trouble.
Oh.
Because Adron is usually associated with criminals.
Okay.
I'm a good man.
Okay, fine, I'll do it. Shin steps forward and simply says, "I am an associate of Adron of House Lavalinor. I do not know if that means much to you."
The girl freezes
I told you.
in place.
I fucking told you.
And she looks at you, and for a second she looks lost and confused, and then her eyes narrow slightly, and she says, "Adron of House Lavalinor?
Yes.
You know of the lost noble?"
Yes, I have known him for 4 years.
I know him for 5.
It's true.
She looks at you, and she spits to the side. She says, "Fuck him."
Figured. That's why I wasn't gonna bring it up.
That's not very nice. He's actually a pretty nice guy.
His brother is the reason my sister is dead.
He has a brother.
Yeah, his
Had
brother did
brother.
something.
Oh, I don't... Tell me the story. We got time.
Oh.
Roll persuasion.
Okay.
With disadvantage.
That's why she's so young.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. No, that's why I wasn't gonna bring it up. Is I figured he did something to disgrace the family.
You know, and I figured my plan would be better. No, that's
16.
I just have so many plans. I need to stop planning.
She still narrows her eyes and she's... My sister, the good standing for the house of Elanorin. She was set to marry their son.
Isn't he? Oh, no. Max doesn't know that. Never mind.
Wait, their son, like as in Adron's
You
brother?
know-
No, that's a different noble
No, it's
house.
a different family.
Okay.
Aecus Lavalinor stole her away. And because they believed her to be in cahoots with him, they executed both of them.
Sorry, executed the House of Lanarin and...
Lavalinor? Okay.
No. Aecus murdered the two that were supposed to be married.
Aecus Lavalinor.
Yeah, Aecus Lavalinor killed the two that were supposed to be married.
So Aecus is Adron's brother.
Yeah.
He stole away with the former daughter of Gilroar, House Gilroar. A daughter which was betrothed to the first son of the House of Alanorin, the current crown house of Mir. Because they believed she was in cahoots with him, they executed both of them.
This is why I wasn't fucking gonna bring it up.
So they killed Aecus.
They killed Aecus and her brother, or her sister. Not her brother. And
Well-
she glares at you guys again. She says, "If I ever find him, I will make sure he pays for what his family has done."
Okay, but like,
Oh, no.
well, question.
Shin goes military rigid again. He, like, full on military rigid defensive.
Saying that thought.
Thanks.
Nobody's gonna check on Tavin?
No.
We all step over him.
Fuck you guys.
I'm probably
I'm trying
like...
to help you, and this is what happened.
Well, he's probably like right at the gates, yeah? Bars.
Yeah, he's been thrown inside the cell, so he's kind of laying in the middle of the cell.
So I'm probably like...
You're close to him.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Well, I guess one more thing I should say. I have a little deal with the god of death miracle, and I could explode at any time, and if I'm frightened, I explode,
If you
Are
want...
you gonna roll fucking, like...
Roll deception.
Stop saying, knock out the dwarf.
Nat 20, please.
No.
13.
She says, "I'd like to see him fucking try."
Okay, bring him over.
And then she turns, and the White Knight follows, and they exit.
Excuse me.
I was just trying to
Oh,
say
no.
And she like pauses in the doorway and like casts a glance over her shoulder.
I have reasons. But none that you would like me to bring up.
She turns around again. And she looks at you up and down. She says, "Tell them to my mother." And she spins on her heel. And she doesn't immediately leave. She gives kind of like a chitter. Like a whistle almost. And you watch as a small brown squirrel darts out of the shadows of the corner of the room. And winds its way up her leg and sits on its shoulder so that it's looking at you guys. And it's got the same familiar golden ring around its pupils. And it winks. And then she's stalking down the corridor with the knight.
Wait.
Wait. I just said, okay, I'm shouting behind her like,
You're thinking what I'm thinking.
I've
right?
given you
I think so.
my warning. And
Yeah, she stalks out. You guys are left. The Bostonian is
Bostonian.
Bostonian? Bostonian.
No, it doesn't have a T.
It's got a T.
They said last time
No.
with a T.
I don't know. It's not on my character sheet.
Kurt Cobain
Okay.
has been taken away to who knows where. Unconscious and slightly beaten up. Not really beaten up. He looks like he's been knocked out. Tabik is currently laying on the floor in front of you guys. The two guards still stand rigid at the doorway. And you guys are left in the cell.
Okay, can I heal Tabik?
Oh.
Heal
This is
time.
gonna seem kind of weird, but Shin's going to... He's not gonna tie it up. He ties it up when he's quick ready for battle. He's actually going to braid it up, which is something he hasn't done before.
Okay.
Well, not in front of you.
Guys, does anybody else need healing?
Uh.
Yeah? Okay. Guess I'm using this one then. I'm gonna use Prayer of... Fuck.
You're not. You're not.
Fuck. You
I love
instantly heal
Prayer
to
of
full.
Fuck.
Prayer of fuck, that should be like a cleric spell for like last minute when almost everyone's dead. This is prayer of fuck.
Okay.
Johnny? There you go. That's an inspiration die.
Oh, thank you.
For prayer of fuck.
That was fucking good. That's my first inspiration die this game, guys. That's how good that was. So you can add that to a roll if you
Okay.
want to at some point.
Okay.
That was fucking
Prayer of
Fuck.
Prayer of Healing. That's a 5, and that's a 4, and that's plus my spellcasting ability modifier. That's not it. 7, 5 plus 4, 9 plus 7, 16 each, guys.
All of us? Or?
No, how
Any of
much
you,
it
yeah.
I'm down.
You know,
so.
anybody who's...
Reese,
Yes.
how was Tabitha knocked out? Like, what happened when the guard came into the room?
The guard had entered into the room and whacked you in the face with the hilt of his sword, and you were knocked out.
Well then,
Didn't explain, didn't say anything. Did the girl
Nope.
didn't do anything? Just
what are you doing?
She
I
just
don't
said,
think we have to. hit points.
You'll be
Okay.
questioned further
Sorry,
in
I didn't mean to
Waldrop
do that.
when
I
you
was-
are joined by your friends. And
I'm
then
doing
you were
a lot at
knocked out.
once. I was
Okay.
trying to write there, but
That's the
That's
message
how this
here
works.
as prayer of oh
What?
shit. Sorry.
I would like history rolls for everyone, please.
I like history.
Let's see what you guys know of the houses of Mir.
Probably fucking nothing.
8. So nothing.
That's 14.
14. Danny already looks excited.
21.
21.
Okay.
Okay. Tabik?
16.
Okay. So Tabik, you know there's 8 houses, each of which is responsible for a different section of governing. You know, Faz, a couple of these houses. You know the largest house, or well, the most important house, House Elenoran, which is the House of the Redwood. They are the crown nobles, so they sit at the head of the council, and their word is the tiebreaker.
Okay.
They are led by the High Lady Nirathana, and she has 2 children. Her husband is long dead. She is currently one of the oldest members of the ruling courts. There's House Gilrora, the House of the Starlily, which are the nobles of justice, which is the family to which Leolin belongs. There is House Wyalith, which is less of a house because it's only one person. It is the House of the Swallow. They are the nobles of history, so they keep all the records and documentation, all that sort of stuff. You do know this elf because he's a pretty big deal. His name is Urafil, and he is the High Lord. He is currently the oldest elf on the entire court. He is 684.
Damn.
He's very old. There's the house Thessalor, which is the house of the fox. They are the nobles of coin.
Over by the pump.
You've heard a couple of rumors about them. There is officially
Get off the fucking chair.
I didn't think it.
I'm listening.
For 5 seconds, I thought you said daddy, and I was so
No!
confused.
I'm listening.
I'm sorry.
Glenris, which is the High Lord of the house. He is married to a woman named Aradi, who's the High Lady. It is rumored that they share a lover, a wood elf by the name of Rolaquin. And there's a couple of rumors that some of the kids belong to him, but, like, no one's quite sure. The only real thing they have is that one of the second daughter, Torwin, is a wood elf rather than a high elf.
Well then, that's pretty good proof.
Pretty good proof, but at the same time, there's nothing definitive.
Okay.
There is House Byrick, which is the House of the Scepter, and the Nobles of Magic. They run the magical schooling and such that powers a lot of places. They own a large university in Waldra. And there is the last house that you know of, Eris, which is the House of the Bear, and they are the nobles of trade. You've actually met one of these sons, a man by the name of Moran. He is the second son. He has 2 brothers, and his father is the High Lord, whose name is Hermiar. So they are in charge of trade and roadways and all that sort of stuff.
Now, do I have like a good bond with them, or is it like?
You've met them a couple of times. You're on okay standing. You're not best friends by any means, but like you guys are acquaintances.
Okay.
You've attended a couple of dinners. You went to the name day, the 100th name day of his youngest son, Quinn Mars.
Okay.
And those are only a couple of the houses, but those are the ones that you know for sure.
Fuck, guys, I really don't know what to do anymore. Can't go to whatchamacallit it's called.
We could try breaking out on the way there.
That's 2 days. We could break out now, and
Is it 2 days before we leave?
fuck.
Oh, hi!
Hi, darling.
Asmodians_7. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Come
Is it 2 days until we leave?
on. They had said that it was 2 days until transportation would come.
Okay.
That's why. we
Yeah,
should
we'd
do
be
it
losing
now.
a lot of time. But
We
there's
don't-
guards.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of, like, I don't know what I have that would be able to get us out. I have really high performance, so I could pretend that I'm, like, having a heart attack or something. I'm dying, and they're like, fuck!
Grace, I'm guessing Cabot's awake now.
So you are
Couldn't
here.
remember which way.
Did they take any of his stuff? Because he has his sketchbook and his holy symbol and armor on still.
Okay.
I mean, that would have been easier than what he did.
Reese,
Grace,
he's got his sketchbook, and
You
does
do
he
have your
all of
sketchbook.
his stuff he,
Your
gave his weapons willingly. but
your
does he
pack
have
and
his
weapons
armor,
were
sketchbook,
taken,
and holy
but you
symbol?
do have your sketchbook. You'd kind of tucked it away before you'd gone into the interrogation.
He still has his cloak with the holy symbol?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we, does anyone have someone they could summon?
can
I have an elemental. No, I don't. It's in my pack.
could y'all leave?
Oh,
Us?
okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, exciting!
Please don't have to do it last time.
Jasper, don't lie. Get the fuck out of here.
I'll take my headphones out and like just like wave your arms wildly when I think of the back.
Sure.
Okay. What's happening over in Charlotte's world?
Okay. Is I've never looked at this scroll. Could I I know Charlotte's probably glanced over it just to see what it was. Can I look over it?
All right. Yeah.
I don't know if you have an actual what it says.
I don't have it made up, but I do know what it says.
Okay.
So the scroll is from Istis. And it is a summons back to your homeland.
Okay.
She says that troubles are brewing.
Okay.
And you are potentially in danger.
Oh no.
She says that for your safety and the safety of your friends, she asks that you return home to aid her in fixing this little problem that's come up or investigating further.
Frick. Okay. Is it signed by Istis at the bottom?
It is.
Or is there like a sigil or something?
There is a sigil and her name.
She doesn't say just says Istis, yeah? Okay, great. Okay. Okay. Well, y'all can come back now.
Trying to adjust for Jasper. Aha, Jasper's back.
I don't know where they went.
Do you want to go get them?
Yeah, okay, I'll go get them.
I'll sit here and talk to the our wonderful viewers and Jasper.
Y'all can come back now.
Yes, we are very PG. Yeah, of course.
What?
They made a joke about how we were a very PG group.
Oh
if
my
only this
gosh.
was true. Yes, it's very
That'd be
true.
nice
We're
if it was
the
true.
greatest. What was that for, Jason?
Hello.
Oh, okay. Oh, well.
Oh, we're bringing puppy. My dogs. No, Jason, don't be distracted by the dog.
This is why the dogs normally stay upstairs.
You gotta sit down.
They legitimately got the fuck out. Yes. Oh, they did.
Hi, sit.
Can we look
Okay.
at the chat or is it someone
Can we look?
You can look at your chat. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
I trust that no one will send information that these weirdos shouldn't have to the chat, please. and Thank
Hashtag
you.
spoilers, y'all.
Let them figure it out themselves in game.
Fuck you.
So,
Steal my love and my dogs. What do I have left? Now my dignity.
okay, well, you guys, I don't know what y'all are doing, but you probably saw Charlotte look at their scroll.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
well, you did, probably. 16.
Yeah, I have a 16.
They're
Passive
not being-
You
aggressive.
hear that too, right?
They're not
Yeah,
being
the
sneaky
squeaky
about it.
sound? I thought that was my dog whistling. She does that sometimes.
They're not being sneaky about it or anything, they're just looking at the scroll.
Right in front of the guards.
There is a puppy, yes.
Oh, wait. The guards are looking the other way, though, yeah?
The guards are looking at you guys, but they're like Buckingham Palace guards. They're like looking in your direction, but not at you. They're standing either side of the door.
Mm.
Do we want this drawn up? Will that help you?
No,
What?
no, I got it.
So if they want to escape in that
They don't care, though, yeah?
Well, they're obviously paying attention. They're watching you guys, but they're not.
But they're not doing anything about it?
Yeah.
Great.
They probably haven't noticed.
Can I motion for everyone to huddle?
Okay, huddling. Group huddle.
Hello! Welcome. You're in with us too. No?
Yeah.
We'll all get like really close.
Yeah, Vic's being really
Hi, guys.
He doesn't want to move. He doesn't
Huddle. Okay,
Okay.
we're huddling.
Okay, I'm whispering all of this, but for audio's sake,
You're just gonna say it?
I'm just gonna say it, yeah.
This is my doggo.
Oh,
Did Bella leave?
Love
Yeah.
her.
yeah, Bella went up there.
Yeah,
What a
Bobby.
dick, I love her.
No, she's back.
Okay, we're whispering.
Okay, does, I pull out the scroll, but only enough so you can see the bottom.
Is there a
Okay.
contract?
And I show it to them and I say, does anybody know what this means?
What does it mean? Can I roll?
You can just read it.
What
What
does
does
it say?
it say?
The sigil? Or...
Yeah, and the name.
And the name? Okay.
What's
Yeah,
it?
sure. Roll a religion check.
I'm probably gonna.
We don't know
Oh,
what-
shit.
Please. What do I have
I
in
have to pick
religion?
a dice.
18. 1.
Okay.
18?
That is a 13.
10.
Oh, I'm proficient in this. 19.
19? Okay. Yeah. You recognize the name, Kissa, but you don't quite recognize the symbol. The rest of you have been around Charlotte for long enough. This is the symbol and name of Istis. She is the goddess of fate and time and stuff like that. She's one of the better gods. It's like Talos and Umberlee were. You get varying
Opinions.
says varying opinions depending on where you are, but most people look at her as a good goddess.
Mhm.
Then again, fate is kind of it's a toss up. It's as cruel as
And
it
what
is
about
just.
this?
Kiza, you asked me if I knew anybody before. Well, I know somebody. And I think she may be able to help us.
I knew it.
In what way?
You know, I'm not too sure, but I'm sure if I asked, she could probably help. I'm just a kid, okay?
Do you need...
Wait, I just realized I gave up all my weapons. Am I still wearing my belt?
Yes. Yeah, no, you'd be wearing your belt. It's clothing.
What? I can summon my plane taker.
Oh!
I love Shin so much!
I just remember it's attuned to his belt.
They would have taken the sheaths and stuff, and the dagger would be in the sheath, but you'd still be left with your belt.
I can fucking
Fuck
summon it to
me.
my belt.
This is why I hate you as a person.
This is... Oh, man.
You hate how clever I am, Reese?
I hate the fact that I'm not
I
gonna
have
get to
a
do stuff.
heart locket and a curse. That's all I'm good for.
Okay, but what's your plan?
Oh my gosh.
Now that I know that I can summon the weapon.
Alex gave you suggestions in the chat.
Do the heart attack thing and stab someone. No. How about we wait until we see what Charlotte has planned?
I have an idea of things.
Okay. So... This is a summons. So... I do have to leave, like, immediately.
Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Nowhere that you need to know.
Oh my god, are you going to die?
What?
You're going to die.
No, I don't think so. Okay, but I need to go, so I need to talk to her anyways, but I'm sure she could get the rest of you out of here as well.
We're at just over an hour.
Okay, we're fine.
Are you in or are you out? Because if you're out, then I am
Will we be able to retrieve our items beforehand?
probably.
Are you going to be hurt?
That I
It's
know of.
Goddess. She
I
should
gotta
be
make
fine.
sure.
I don't think so.
Okay, then I'm in.
If you believe this will work.
Possibly. Giza?
Hate to say it, but sometimes the kid's smarter than us.
Thanks.
No, that wasn't Charlotte.
Okay.
Thanks.
So what, we just need Tavik?
Yeah, Tavik.
If it works, and if I can get all my stuff back,
Yeah,
I want out. These people are
Oh, yeah.
rude.
Okay. What are we doing?
There's a chittering from the hallway.
That damn squirrel.
Uh,
There's also something I should tell you. Oh, a couple things. First of all, Mr. Branham, gave a squirrel some soap for for getting the scroll. Pretty sure it's the same squirrel.
The
What?
squirrel's in the doorway now.
I think.
And
that's
one of the guards
the
kind of like
same
glances
one.
down and like, what are you doing in here, buddy?
I want to see the squirrel like ninja power, just like chop.
How
their
close
heads
are
off.
these guards to the cell?
Oh, they're across the room.
No.
Nope,
The squirrel makes it out to the middle of the room and like climbs onto the table, and the same guard goes, What are you doing? And he starts to make for the table to grab the squirrel.
we need to leave now.
Okay, how do we do it?
How are we doing this? How long did you say it would take me to pick the lock?
A minute.
Are
Two,
the
maybe?
guards distracted?
The one of them is over near the squirrel.
Yeah,
The
that
other one
makes
seems to be fine.
Do we have anything to distract the second guard?
Bring the guard close to the cell.
The guard gets to the table now, and he reaches out to like grab the squirrel, and the squirrel dodges in and goes, "What are you? Come here!" And he tries to grab it again, and dodges again. And he's like now trying to grab the squirrel, and the dude's like, "Just grab the fucking squirrel, man!" It's like, "No, I can't fucking. He keeps dodging my hands."
Baz, do you trust
they-
me?
Yes.
Are they wearing metal
Yeah.
armor?
They are wearing metal armor, and you notice this at the same time that the door next to the door. Oh my god.
The door next to the door.
At the same time that the guard next to the door takes a step forward towards the table to help out his friend, and quick as anything, you watch as the girl, Gelrora, jabs the hilt of a dagger into his head.
We're right.
What?
What
The
just happened?
guard crumples to the ground.
Please tell me we're
The
right.
secondary one turning around, the loud noise, going, "What are you?" Just as the squirrel emerges into a small child and fucking brains him
What happened?
Please
with
tell me
two
we're right.
acorns.
Please tell me
He
we're right.
crumples to the ground. The girl stows
That's
her
really bad
dagger.
Audio.
Sorry, the girl stows her dagger. Gives like another set of like these chittering clicks.
Yeah.
The boy jumps down, fiddles with the guard, grabs the keyring, steps over to unlock your door. Just as the girl goes to start grabbing packs and starts tossing them to you as the door swings open.
I'm grabbing.
Are our weapons with our packs?
Yeah,
I'm grabbing
yes.
everything.
she's tossing stuff over and she's
Strapping everything back into place.
quickly, please. We don't have much time, and I'd prefer to not be caught with you.
Who is this?
Do we need to make stealth rolls?
Yes. I
No,
would like
sorry.
stealth rolls.
Sorry, hold on. Who is this?
This is
the girl.
Lylin Gelrora.
This is Lylin Galrora.
That was the squirrel?
No. The girl, the squirrel is a separate person. It's the boy that you saw. He's not green skinned anymore. He's kind of like darker skinned, darker haired and stuff.
So that's
but
a...
it's clearly the same person, the same squirrel. And you notice two identical golden rings around both of their pupils.
This is a 30.
30?
Fucking
Okay, sure.
I got an 18.
22.
I'm pretty sure whatever Charlotte got, anyone else got, it'll be balanced, because it's a party roll, isn't it?
Yeah, no. Fuck, you guys aren't being seen by anything. That's perception.
Oh god.
Well, I got a 9.
Okay. Yeah, with
Stealth
the
disadvantage.
balance out of the rest of your party compatriots, you guys are fucking invisible at this point.
But we have all our stuff back.
Yeah, you guys grab up your things.
I love my axe. I was so lost
Were
without it.
Havoc weapons thrown in with everybody else's stuff too?
Yes. Yeah, no.
Okay.
No, yours aren't with her. Because the girl hands those over herself. She's got like a bag on her back and she hands them over to you.
Yeah.
She says, "Hurry now, quickly, please." And as she does, the squirrel boy begins to drag the guards into the cell.
Oh, jeez.
I'm so fucking yes.
Can I make another history check on... Wait.
We don't have time for this.
We don't have time. We
Okay.
just have to go.
Sure.
You can if you'd like to make a roll or anything. Yeah. You can
No,
take
I
a
just
second.
like the boy is being controlled by the girl. Yeah.
Roll me an Arcana check with advantage.
Oh God, thanks.
We've seen this thing
17
before,
plus
guys.
18.
18. Okay. Yeah. No. So you've caught sight of this once already, but you were confused the first time you saw it because it's not something that happens a lot. But this is a familiar pact. And it is a specific type of familiar pact because it is not made with a creature or a being. These happen between two different spellcasters, in which one of them gives up their humanity in order to become a being of pure magic.
Oh wow.
Oh, fuck.
They are bonded quite heavily,
So like Snake Lady and the kid.
like
were all-
Sushimi and her hawk.
Sushi.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are bonded like that.
Okay.
It is a familiar pact. Yes.
Okay. I kept thinking I
It is
actually
a
knew him.
very, very difficult magic to pull off.
I'm smiling.
The squirrel gets the things into the guards into the cell, locks the door, tosses the keys over onto the table, and the girl, Leolin, begins to lead you guys outwards. No, not even close. Not at all. Don't try this. No, it's really not. Would you like to make perception checks? Do I have to make you perception check stuff?
To see if they're fucking kinky?
No.
What?
To understand what's going on.
No, I understand.
King crawl.
No, I'm kidding. Let's go.
Sorry, we're going.
We're going.
We're leaving.
Okay.
We're out of here.
We're out.
Bye.
Fucking called it.
She begins to lead you guys through the hallways. They're not the same ones that you'd seen, but she does lead you onwards and stuff. She leads you out a back entrance. Through... Not towards the boat. She's going the
Dang
opposite
it.
way, actually. Through the kind of this like little room that's sectioned into the side, through the walls and stuff up into the city. And she leads you quietly to the eastern gate. No, not the eastern gate, the western gate.
Yeah.
My apologies. She leads you to the western gate, where there is a cart waiting for you guys. Pulled by the horses you guys had with you at the time.
Wow.
The feed bags have been set up. There's a couple of bags of food and water and blankets and such, things that you could need on the journey. And she leads you over, and the boy has transformed back into the squirrel at this point, and he's kind of like sitting on her shoulders and stuff. And she turns to you. She says, "I've done what I can to get you out of the city. Make like fucking hell."
Why are you doing this for us?
When my sister was killed, I wanted nothing more than to see Adron, the Valinor, and the rest of his family hang. But I learned over time that my grief was unwarranted. My sister loved him, and she had chosen to leave with them. And they killed her for it.
Well, that fucking sucks.
My mother and father will not listen to reason. They will not see the way that I do. But I hold no grudge against the Lavalino family. I apologize for what I've had to do to you. The man that follows me around is a knight of my father's, and I have an image to obtain around them.
Okay.
Your friend was kind enough to tell me the details of what you needed. They will face the charges for what you've done alone.
Who?
Thanks.
Bostonian.
Bostonia.
Bostonian.
Oh,
Get their name right if you want to thank them.
But I advise you stay clear of Kavili and Weldra, if possible, for a while until I can find a way to convince my parents to let this one slide.
Thank you.
Thank my brother. He's the one who wanted to help.
Her brother.
The squirrel.
Is it the squirrel?
Yeah.
So you know how I ripped a piece of my dress off? I take the fabric that I have and I kind of like, I tie it around her wrist. Like I get her to put her hand out and I tie it around her wrist. And I'm like, don't ask, just keep it.
She kind of looks down. She looks confused for a second, and then like she looks up and she smiles slightly and she nods.
I will climb onto the wagon.
I will also climb onto the wagon.
Okay. Shin, she grabs you by the shoulder. She says, "You know, Adron,
Yes.
if when you see him, tell him that I forgive him."
I can do that for you. If you ever find yourself in need, if you ask around, you may be able to find a way to contact me. Simply look for words of black cats and spiders.
She nods, and then with a final short wave of her hand, she disappears back into the city.
Now, who has the
I want
best
to say
animal
something
handling?
actually.
I have
What is your animal?
I only have
Plus
+1.
4.
I have +2. You're big.
I
I
just
have
like
+4.
silently nod to her when she leaves.
Before we go, can I tell
Is there
her
room
that
in the
she
cart
needs
for
to
all
find
of us?
Getting rid of Stealth Mortalis, and thank you for helping.
Stella's Mortalis.
Yeah. So I'll let you do that before she talks to Shin. But that
Yeah,
is
I
how
trust-
she exited.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
We've got a break.
I think a break is warranted at this
Yeah.
point.
Mhm.
Yep.
We'll figure out who's going to be driving the cart. All
Why,
that sort of
why
stuff.
did everyone look at me?
Because you
you're
have
the
the
one
best
who-
animal handling.
Drive the car.
Until then, we'll be back in about half an hour, guys. If you want to stick
got
around.
You
Yeah.
got 5?
Yeah, I got 5.
I got 4, so
Um,
you and me. Okay.
Good fortune and high rolls.
We'll be
Yeah.
right back.
We'll see you in a bit.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Wait, I gotta stop
Everyone
streaming.
wait.
I gotta stop streaming.